mad science also. So don't get scared and don't get worried. Okay? Don't get frightful. Most people who claim that they know this thing, they're charlatans, they're fake. They don't know this thing. And I'm going to talk to our Pakistani brothers and sisters. I know that these people exist in this country. And I know that you go to them. And I know that you seek advice from them. And I'm telling you now, they're taking your money and you're not getting any result. If you need answers, go to the ulama deed. Stop going to these people who's taking your money. Your son, your daughter have some some psychological issue. Baba, go see a doctor, don't go see these people. These people don't have any power. But witchcraft is real. Sihr, it's real. It was come down with Harut and Marut. It's mentioned in Quran. Allah mentioned this in this verse of Quran, the tying of knots. So just so you understand how it all works, the knot is a container. So if I want to cast a spell, when I cast that spell, I say it and I tie the knot. The knot acts as a container for that spell. It contains it. And it also acts as an off switch. When I untie the knot, the spell is released. You've all heard of Alexander the Great and the Gordian knot, and how Alexander cut the knot. And by these means, he was able to conquer the world. Similar thing. Y'all understand where I'm coming from now? This thing is real, it has power, but don't fear it. Because we also have been instructed by Hazrat Rasulullah, there's certain things that we have to do to protect ourselves. Baba, stay in tahara. Have love of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. These rings that we wear, they're a type of hairs. They're a type of protection. Duas that we have, they're a type of hairs. They're a type of protection. Surahs that we put in our house, they're a protection for us. So y'all dig it? Khair, send us salawat. Why does Allah mention hasad right after sihr in Surah Al-Falaq? Because hasad also is just as powerful as sihr. I'm going to take my word for it. Go do your studies. It's mentioned by ulama. Chishme bad. This is something that we use in Persian, right? Maybe even in Urdu. Chishme bad. Y'all know it. The evil eye. Envy. It's equated with sihr in Quran and in reality. If I see something that you have and I like it and I want it and I want to destroy you to get it, then this is called what? Hasad. Envy. Jealousy is different. Although in English we use jealousy negatively also, right? But I can see you have something nice and I don't want to destroy you to take it, right? I just feel like I want something like that. That's not evil. But at the moment that you resent this is the key. The moment that you resent the person for having that thing and you want it and you will destroy them to get it, then we call this hasad. And ulama have said that this hasad, it's just as dangerous to the person who's the victim of it, the person who's shelling it out, as sihr. And if you want some, I'm not going to go through the notes with you. We're not going to waste time with that tonight. I'm watching the clock. We have things to do, inshallah. You want some information afterwards? Ask me, inshallah. But this thing is real. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put both of them right after each other in Surah Al-Falaq, so that why you can realize the danger of hasad, envy. Envy is a very dangerous emotion for us to have. And you don't envy anyone for what they have. Because the first person that it poisons is ourselves. And if I'm envious of you for what you have, it's going to poison my heart first. But this chishme bad that I'm flexing on you, this niyate bad that I'm flexing on you, this bad intention that I'm shooting your way with that hasad, it also affects you, and even ulama have confirmed that. Yani, me being hasud of you, it poisons my heart and it causes bad things to you also. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? Do you believe it? Because it's true. Send us salawat to protect us all. Now, where am I going with all of this? Why are you talking? Come here tonight on Shabbat Imam Ali, and you come and talk about Sayyid Hassan. Okay, here's where we're going. Understand where I'm going with it. Why did the people hate Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam? Ali, who we love so much. Ali, that you go through history, you can't find that Ali did anything to upset anybody except maybe against Mushrikeen. Ali, who, as we mentioned last night, used to take care of orphans and widows and poor people and destitute. This Ali who had the same, it's not that when Ali became Khalifa that he started doing this. Ali was Ali from the start. Ali was the same loving, caring, faithful human being in his youth as he was in his old age. So you can't say that Ali did something. Masalan, Ali did something for the people to hate him. Ali did something to them for them to dislike him. No. A lot of times the ulama will come and sit right here with you and tell you that the people hated Ali because Ali killed their loved ones at Badr or Khandaq or Hunayn or here or there or the other. I want you to understand something tonight that it wasn't hatred of Ali alayhi salatu wasalam that was the cause of his shahada. Let's run over the life of Ali so you can understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes I feel like I got too much information in me for the time that's been given. Send another salawat. I'm trying to skip through this quickly, inshallah.
Two words, Sheikh, about Ali. Ali ma'al haq wal haq ma'al.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is the only person ever to have been recorded to have been born inside the Kaaba. Now, you've heard this before, and you might think that this is like, oh, we heard this before, but I want you to understand how important the Kaaba is to the life of Makkah at that time, okay? Kaaba is the center of town. It's not just a holy place to all Makkah, okay? It's the center of business. It's the center of social life. It's the center of religious life. It's everything to the people of Makkah. It's everything to the Quraysh. It's not just a holy place. If you want to look at Makkah, if you want to look at Kaaba like how we look at things today, it's the mall in the center of town that also has a spiritual aspect. It's social, it's economic, it's religious. It is the center of town. And for Ali alayhi salatu wasalam to be born inside the Kaaba, it created, and this is the point that I'm going to make with you tonight, it created such an envy in the heart of the people of Makkah that even now you go, I can't even remember the guy's name, I'll be honest with you. But even now, some of our brother Muslims have gone and have said, no, there was another person born inside the Kaaba, and they've made up somebody from out of the history. They pulled him out from under some rock. We don't know where they found him, but they brought him forward, and they said he was also born inside of Kaaba. He wasn't born inside of Kaaba. Only Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was born in Kaaba. And I want to make it clear for you. This is the center of town. The walls open up and Fatima bint Asad alayhi salam goes in. Look, understand, she would have run away because me and you would run away too. If the wall opens up and the wall of the Kaaba opens up, al-farar. But Fatima bint Asad alayhi salam, she got the words of Allah, the invitation of Allah in her heart that told her, Fatima, biatu, go in. Otherwise she would have run away. And so she went inside and the wall closed behind her and the door stayed locked. How many days? 3 days. Listen, there's something special about this 3 days, If you do something once, you might forget it. If you do something twice, because your mind is weak, it's possible that you could forget it. But look here and listen good. When you do it 3 times, you can't miss it. 3 days inside the Kaaba. Baba, they went, they brought the keys, the door won't open. This created a spectacle in Makkah. Everybody knew that Fatima bint Asad was inside and that she wasn't coming out. And on the 3rd day, the lock by itself had fell off. And she came out. Now, put yourself in the place of the people of Makkah. This is the center of town. This is the holiest place for you in your cultural understanding of the world as a person living in Makkah. This is the all-important place for you. And this guy is born inside of there. Many people from right there, the spark of energy was lit in their hearts for Ali. Many from right there, from the time he was born, from the moment that Ali ibn Abi Talib opened his eyes, from that moment, the spark of Hassan was lit. You dig it? Send us salawat. Next. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib was raised in the house of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from the age of around 5 years old. Now, other people will come and tell you that this happened because there was a famine in Makkah and Abu Talib had so many children and he couldn't take care of all of his children. And so therefore, Prophet took Ali alayhi salatu wasalam into his home because surely Abu Talib with the famine would not be able to feed him. Khurafat. Even if there was a famine in Makkah, which we have no evidence of. There's no evidence. But even if there was a famine in Makkah, let me ask you, how hard is it to feed a 5-year-old boy? Does a 5-year-old eat that much? There's other reason why Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam took Ali into his own home, raised Ali in his own home. Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam himself, he says, I was raised in the household of Prophet. I slept in the same bed with him, such that the scent of Prophet surrounded me day and night, and I followed him like a baby camel follows its mother. Ali is raised in the house of, now me and you love him as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But these people didn't know him as Prophet yet, they knew him as Al-Amin. And right here, you remember the spark of hasad that we mentioned? Right here, that spark becomes a fire. Small flame. Because Ali is raised in the house of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Nare Haydari!
Hey, Prophet said, أول من صلى معي Ali. First person to ever make salat with me was Ali. In another riwayat, Prophet says, إن الملائكة صلت علي وعلى علي 7 سنين قبل أن يسلم بشر. Yani, The angels did salawat on me and Ali 7 years before any other human being knew anything about Quran or Deen or anything. The first person to accept Islam, the first male to accept Islam was Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. And to this day, what do our brothers say? Karamallahu wajhahu, right? For this reason, why? Because they say he's the first person. He never worshipped any idols. These other people, these other so-called khulafa that they pull up and they bring them forward and they say, hey, this one is a khalifa and that one is a khalifa and this one is a khalifa. Baba, they were mushrikeen before.
Radiallahu anhu.
Allahu Akbar. Really, radiallahu anhu. Ya Allah. It's amazing. They pull these guys up from wherever they pull them from and say, these are those. Ali alayhi salatu wasalam never bowed down to any idol. Never worshipped anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the fact that he was the first to accept Islam, you remember that little flame of envy that they were feeding in their heart? It got a little bit bigger. Got a little bit bigger. Time goes on. Ali accepts Islam. Prophet invited people secretly to Islam for some years until Allah commanded him to invite your near family members. We know it as da'wat or ashira. Yeah. I want you to understand something. Ali was maybe about 12, 13 years old at this time. Prophet gives Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali the job to make the party happen. Anyone, Ali has to send out the invitation. Ali has to get the food. Ali has to cook the food. And Ali has to serve the food. Hazrat Rasul is there just to give the message. Y'all dig it? First time they did it, they invite the family and they come. Something like 40 members, and they come. Before Prophet ﷺ can invite the people to Islam, Abu Lahab makes some disturbance, and the program is destroyed. Everybody leaves. They're laughing and making fun, and Abu Lahab really made a disturbance. And the first time they tried Da'watul Ashira, it's failed. So Prophet tells Ali, again, send out invitation. Get the food right, make the sofra good, and call the people back. The people came back, and he did as he was told, and now Prophet stands up and gives the famous speech that we all know about. No one has ever brought anything to you like I brought to you, and I'm calling you, whoever supports me today, then they will be my inheritor and my successor after me. And you know what I'm talking about, right? That was what I said. Nobody stood up. Nobody accepted the invitation except who? Ali. And he was there at that age, at 12 or 13 years old, in the midst of all these men. And look, our brothers can testify too, right? We've lost some of this culture. We've lost some of this culture ourselves, but they know it, right? Young men like Ali, 12, 13 years old, he don't sit in the crowd. I'm wrong? If you got a group of 40-year-old men, 50-year-old men, 30-year-old men, a 12-year-old don't sit with them. Y'all understand what I'm saying? 12-year-old sits in the back. 12-year-old don't sit with grown men. Ali, in the back of the thing, stands up and says, I'm with you. It burned the hearts of the older men who were there, such that now even Abu Lahab starts to tease Abu Talib. They said that now your son is your master and you have to obey him. Remember I talked about the little spark of envy in their heart? Remember I talked about how they grew it to a little bit of a flame? With this Da'watul Ashira, this envy gets a little bit bigger. Okay, let's move forward. Comes the time for Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to make hijrah. Allah warns him, hey, these people are going to kill you. You better get out of town and put Ali to sleep in your bed, let me ask you, could you have put anybody else to sleep in the bed? I won't say, because sometimes these things get recorded and they get put out on the internet, and I don't want to be responsible for the deaths of any Shia. So I won't tell you what I really think. There's a reason that Allah said put Ali in your bed. There's a reason why when Prophet is escaping, he runs into one of these guys. There's a reason why the people that were tracking Hazrat Rasulullah, wondering, because he had a head start, because Ali slept in the bed. Didn't Ali sleep in the bed? Why did Ali sleep in the bed? To give Hazrat Rasulullah a head start. Hazrat Rasulullah got a head start. So I got a question for you. How did they find the cave that he was in? If he gets a head start and he leaves town, escapes from town, before anybody even knows he's gone, Baba, how did they find the cave that he's hiding in? That Allah has to send a bird to nest there and a spider to build the web there to protect Hazrat Rasul. How did they find the cave so quick? I'm going to just leave it here and say, look, it's an inside job.
I need to know who was with him.
Hi, we're not going to mention that, Avajan, because they're recorded. But somebody was with him. And somebody was responsible for leaving alamat and signs and, hey, like breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel. Ali sleeps in the bed. Someone once asked Ali, how did you sleep that night? Ali said, it's the best night's sleep I ever got. Yani that night of sleep for Ali was the best night rest he ever got. In the morning, they bust in the door and they go in. And Ali jumps up. Everybody is surprised. Hazrat Rasul has escaped. That little flame of envy that's in their hearts, it's getting bigger. Ali finishes up Prophet's business. He makes hijrat also to Medina. He gets to Medina. Prophet makes ukhuwat between everybody. You, the brother of you. You, the brother of you. You, the brother of you. This one, the brother of that one. Ali comes to Hazrat Rasul and he's crying. He says, Rasul, you forgot me. Prophet says, I didn't forget you, Ali. I've chosen you for myself. You're my brother. Remember I told you about that flame of envy in their heart? It just got bigger. Everybody wanted to marry Fatima to Zahra. But rich men came from all around. People who were wealthy, people who had social status, people who were known, elders, heads of tribes, people with masala. Alaki, we're just going to say it. Maybe they had some social standing. You know, in those days, it was coming to have a marriage like this, it would create a political alliance. And this is what most of the Arab were looking for when they came and proposed marriage to Hazrat Zahra alayhi salam. They wanted to tie themselves to the family of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and gain some maqam by being married to Hazrat Zahra alayhi salam. Prophet refuses all of them. No, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what your social standing is. I don't care how popular you are, how so-called handsome you might be. Beat it. We're not interested. Allah has to make the decision. One day, Ali comes. This one you can know somebody's serious about your daughter. Ali comes and sits down in front of the Prophet, but can't say anything. Yet the rest of them came and said, oh, Prophet, let me get your daughter. Oh, Prophet, hook me up with that. Oh, Prophet, let me in. Ali comes and sits down and can't say a word. He's shy. Baba, he loves Zahra to such an extent, loves Prophet to such extent, he can't bring the words on his tongue. He's trembling. Prophet has to calm him down. Prophet has to calm him down and say, Ali, I know what you're here for. Prophet has to speak for Ali. Prophet has to say, yes, I agree, Ali. You can marry Fatima to Zahra. Ali couldn't even say the words Prophet had to speak for him. The flame of envy in their heart, it got bigger. Ali was present at every battle of Islam except Tawbut. And not just present, he was the champion of every battle in Islam except the battle of Tawbut. You name it, he was there. He was the champion in that battle. Look, we'll just tell you the story. Forget about the other battles. We'll just tell you the story of Khandaq. You know, I'm going to not tell you. He guides his horse and jumps into the Khandaq. And he gives such a strong challenge. He says, you Muslims, you believe that if you kill any of us, we go to hell. And if we kill any of you, you go to paradise. Amr ibn Abdul says, so which one of you is ready to go to paradise? Prophet says, who will stand up and silence this man? They sat down like, my teacher said, they sat down like they had birds on their head. And if they should move, the birds will fly away. Even this guy, number two, and really he's a number two. This number two says, Ya Rasulullah, we went on a caravan trip with this guy one time, and we saw him defend the caravan with a baby camel. Y'all know the story? Y'all heard this story before? They went on a caravan, right? Amr ibn Abdul was in the caravan. Some bandits attacked the caravan. Amr ibn Abdul picked up a baby camel and used the baby camel as a weapon. The other Arab were terrified of Amr ibn Abdul, horrified. They were trembling. Ali stands up, says, Ya Rasulullah, let me handle it. Sit down, Ali, pull up. Who's gonna go? Ali jumps up again, let me go. 3 times Ali jumps up. Finally, Hazrat Rasul says, go ahead. Today, all of Iman is facing all of Kufr. Ali goes out there and invites Amr ibn Abdul to Islam. When he refuses, then he kills him. Those who were in the camp watching the scene, right? They were scared of Amr ibn Abdul, but look how easily Ali killed him. Ali killed him with no effort at all. The fire of envy gets bigger. It gets bigger. And at every important station in Islam, Ali is there. Just a few days ago, one of our brothers asked me, why you Shia, you're always saying Ali, 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 Ali. I said, because Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he faced any difficulty, what was he saying? Ali, 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 Ali. Salawat. Ali. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything out before we move forward. Huh? Just run over the notes real quick. Ya Allah. Send another salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. These verses of Bara'at, I would have forgotten it. Huh? One of these guys was sent to deliver the verses of Bara'at, right? And after he's sent out, then Allah tells Prophet, look, send either yourself or somebody that's like yourself. So in the middle of the journey, Ali is sent. Ali has to go and tell this guy, yo, you're not good enough for the job. Because look, Ali can say it as nice as he wants. You can go and say, Prophet said that I have to, and I don't want to. You can play it however you want, but at the end of the day, you're not good enough for the job. Go home. Ali has to go deliver the verses of God to follow Makkah. Huh? Remember that fire of envy? It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. Let's finish it off here then. For the last few years of Hazrat Rasulullah's life, Prophet was in trouble. He was isolated in the community. Most of us don't understand this history. For the last couple of years of Prophet's life, he was alone in the community because the people are coming and complaining about Ali, and Prophet is having to defend Ali over and over again. And this is the thing. We know that Prophet announced the Vilayat Ali before his death on numerous occasions. These are the times when he's announcing the Vilayat Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. When the people come and complain about Ali, then Prophet says, after me, Ali is your Wali. The people are coming and saying, Ya Rasulullah, give us some satisfaction, Ali, Ali, Ali. And in response, Prophet is saying, look, don't say anything about Ali. Ali is your master after me. This catches their hearts on fire with envy against Ali. Then if you want to know why they plotted against Amir al-Mu'mineen, why they wanted to kill Amir al-Mu'mineen, why eventually they killed Amir al-Mu'mineen, it wasn't Khawarij. It wasn't hate. It wasn't because Ali killed their loved ones. It wasn't because Ali killed their people. It was because they envied Ali from the day one to the last day. They envied him. They had hasad. They were hasud of Ali, of the maqam that Allah gave him and the maqam that Prophet of Allah gave him. This envy was burning them.
Until today.
This is the cause of the death. Don't let anybody fool you. You want to know why envy is so dangerous? Why envy is like sihr? Why envy is like black magic? These people were envious of the best of Allah's creation. These people were envious of a man who at night would sneak out, trying to not be seen, to take care of fuqara, orphans, widows. They were envious of this man who really, he was love incarnate. And there was no one more loving than Amir al-Mu'mineen. They were envious of him. Let's go to the deathbed of Amir al-Mu'mineen. After Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was struck in Masjid al-Kufa, they took him to the home. They laid him on the bed. They brought doctors to examine him. His forehead had been split wide open such that you could see the bone. They say on Yom Qiyamah, the Shuhada will be brought forth with the wounds of their bodies still evident. Then on Yom Qiyamah, Ali alayhi salatu wasalam also, will you be able to see the wounds of Ali? Will you be able to bear to see those? The people gathered in the house so that they could get some information about the condition of Amir al-Mu'mineen. The people were gathered there and it was a crowd. Finally, Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam, he comes and he tells the people, you have to leave. Everybody leaves except one person. This one person says, my feet won't carry me. My feet won't allow me to leave. My feet won't allow me to leave. Please, I won't leave until I see Ali personally. Imam Hassan says, let me go and get permission. At this time, Ali, he was losing consciousness and then coming back to consciousness. Losing consciousness and then coming back to consciousness. Imam Hassan goes and says, Father, I've given the command. Everyone has left, but one person says he can't leave before he sees himself. Ali says, tell him to come. The person says, I went in and they had wrapped a yellow cloth on the head of Ali, and I could not tell what was more yellow, the cloth or the face of Ali. This person also leaves. Ali calls his children around him. He says, children, you remember my hands, how powerful they were. Now I cannot even close them. My children, this is death. Look at the hands of Ali. They say Ali was going to and from consciousness, but then he gained consciousness and began to say wondrous things. They heard Ali say, and this is from Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam. They heard their father say, "Irfaqu bi ya malaikatu rabbi." Be kind with me, O messengers of my Lord. Now they've understood that the angels have come to collect the soul of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then they hear Ali start to say salams to Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yani Ali is seeing Rasulullah calling to him, saying, come to us, Ali. What we have here is better for you than what is there. Then they heard Ali say three things, say something 3 times. Ali said, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, the greatest friend, the greatest friend, the greatest friend. And then Ali alayhi salatu wasalam breathed his last. Yani Allah himself was welcoming Ali into Bish. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ولعنة الله على قوم الظالمين آمين رب العالمين يا علي يا علي Surah Fatiha is requested in this special night. Our sister Azra Akbar bint Muhammad Wasif Khan. Please, salawat with Fatiha, inshallah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.